The first word that came to my mind was opportunity.
ShipIt is freedom.
Surreal, I guess, would be the word for it.
The buzz around the office is crazy.
If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
A really small problem, you make something magical happen.
I reckon ShipIt's a bit like a melting pot.
A product development lifecycle condensed into 24 hours.
Limitless possibilities.
Late night conversations over pizza.
Dream.
In 2005, we had like 15 people that did ShipIt, and now we have a few hundred. In 2005, everyone was sitting around a computer. And then we went from one computer to the next computer to the next computer and just looked at the developer's screen, and they just like showed off what they've done. There was no keynotes, there was no beatboxing, no DJing. We didn't have prizes to begin with. It was just like, hey, you win it, that's good.
Hi, Mike Cannon-Brooks, co-founder at Atlassian. I've taken part in 33 ShipIts. Hi, Scott Farquhar, also co-founder at Atlassian, and I've taken part in 33 ShipIts.
It was good.
Yeah, I think it actually was really good because it was one of those ShipIts, I think, where we all felt that we kind of actually built something that is really useful. It's definitely, yeah, cool to see like this, I don't know, little idea, I guess, that we had and built in like a day and a half grow to like a product of that size that it could almost sustain its own little small company in a sense.
So somebody shared sort of a YouTube walkthrough of the Slack office, and then they'd point out, oh, here's our meeting room system, and it turns out it's Meet.
Probably one of the more recent trips, maybe last year, and then we were visiting a customer, Eventbrite, and they had an iPad app, a nice slick sign-in thing, and I had a look at it, and actually it was a startup in San Francisco is building the app, and it did a few more things than our one did, but it's like it's a whole company that's actually building this thing that we did at ShipIt.
So the idea was that we wanted to use it as a vehicle for collecting money for charity. We started off, I don't know, 10 in the morning. We got all the kit, we got all the wood, dumped it at the site that we were gonna do the build, and we got started, and we worked hard. We had all the machines and everything, and it got to, what, 4, 5 in the afternoon, and we had a slightly smaller, slightly more cut up pile of wood.
It's super important to be able to sell your idea well.
It's all in the presentation.
I got to dress up as Darth Vader and move, tickets around from in progress to done live on stage. So it's pretty unreal.
Really tall German dude, hard to miss.
He knows what he's talking about.
Chris Keel?
It's Chris Keel.
Beating Chris Keel is one of everyone's goals here at Atlassian.
I think one time he won because he out-rapped someone else.
There may very well be ShipIt gods, but I don't know who they are. I don't care who they are. Everyone is on a level playing field, and you should all have a crack. Does not matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Atlassian's work futurist, Tom Price.
That was pretty average. I felt like you weren't expecting me then. Welcome to ShipIt Live. A bit more noise, please. Just so you know, this is not my original hair. This is not what I normally look like. So welcome to ShipIt Live. This is a tradition and ritual that we run at Atlassian. It's something that we absolutely love and adore, and I want to tell you why we love ShipIt so much. It's a chance once a quarter for every single member of staff to take part in being creative, to be curious, to be innovative. At Atlassian, we don't believe in the lone genius. In fact, we also don't believe that our experts and partners are lone geniuses. We think innovation exists in absolutely everyone, and ShipIt is our chance to give everyone an opportunity to do something crazy, to innovate, to be creative, to have an impact on the world. So where does it come from? The Atlassian values are a fundamental part of the way we live and work every single day in Atlassian, across the globe. They aren't just posters that exist on the wall, they're paramount to the way we actually work and interact. And there's 3 specifically that are important to me when I think about innovation and ShipIt. The first one is play as a team. This notion that cognitive diversity, getting people with a different mindset who challenge you, who provoke you, who tell you that you might be wrong, getting access to them and sparring with them, and coming up with some awesome ideas. The next one is build with heart and balance. This freedom that we give to our staff and our teams all around the world to say, work on something that you care about. It might not be logical, it could just come from your heart, but you are free to work on anything, and we are not going to fire you for trying. And the last one is be the change you seek. There's plenty of organizations around the world where people like to sit in groups and just whinge about what they don't like about their organization. At Atlassian, we empower our people. We give them the autonomy to say, if you don't like the way something works, you are free to try and change it. You are empowered to have an impact and make a difference. So how do we do ShipIt? It's a very, very complicated process. It's not complicated. It's really simple. Once a quarter, we give people 24 hours. We ask them to form a team. It can be anyone. In fact, the more diverse the team, the better. And then what we ask them is to do at the end of the 24 hours, we give them 3 minutes to do a lightning pitch, a talk to their peers for the prized bragging rights of ShipIt. The prizes include a very tacky, cheap trophy. There's no major prize in ShipIt, but the bragging rights, the chance to get your idea, the thing you worked on that you're passionate about, in front of your peers, potentially on a roadmap, and to potentially ship that idea is something that inspires our teams all over the world every quarter. In fact, last quarter we had over 1,200 people take part globally across 8 locations and 400 teams taking part in ShipIt. Now, innovation is a tricky thing. It's often talked about. One of the things we like to do at Atlassian is have a bit of fun with innovation. I went through an idea of dressing up for one of our ShipIts and handing out sweets, and it just became a thing. Now, I've dressed up all the time, and in fact, you can see today the extent of my dress up is a really cheap wig. And can you just vote? It's a bit pathetic, isn't it? Everyone agrees it's a bit crap? Would anyone like me to make a bit more effort? Wow, that is the first time that has happened. If that is Amy Glancy and Scott, I can see at the back, I might just need you in a second. If you could just come up on stage right now, please. Yeah, I heard you. Amy and Scott, if I could just borrow you for a second. And Roger, and Jose, and Jay, and Jürgen, and Robert, the 5 of you, if you could just come on stage. Thank you. Round of applause, please, for these people who have no idea. One of the things I like to do at Atlassian is to try and get fired quite regularly. There's very many different ways of getting fired. Innovation is meant to be uncomfortable. And the fact that none of these people know that what we're about to do is okay. The fact that these people include my ex-boss, boss's boss, I'm screwed. Okay, if you just all want to grab a T-shirt, any T-shirt, don't fire me now, Scott, it'll be awkward. Just grab a T-shirt and grab a hat. So as Scott mentioned in the keynote, Atlassian's all about teams. So we decided to make this a team event. If you could just pop on the T-shirt, then the hat, Amy, thanks. Thanks, Scott, Roger, DJ Kanban, you'll see him at the bash later on, Jose, Jay, Robert, Jürgen. So innovation is a team event. If I could get the audience to participate, because you're all a team as well, if you could all just stand up, please. If you could put them on, that'd be wonderful. It's going to add to the moment. Twitter, @DonPrice, got fired, Euro Summit, hashtag. Okay, are you ready to innovate? Yeah. Okay, John, when you're ready, please. Ladies and gentlemen, they knew no idea I would do that to them. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. Yeah, you're going to miss me when you fire me. But you can keep the T-shirt, Jose. That is all for you. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Atlassian for a short career. It was very nice. If anyone's looking for a guy that wears hats and presents, I'll be free from about an hour's time. So ShipIt Live. We want to make it fun. What you're actually going to see today are 7 presentations, 7 3-minute pitches. 5 of those are from Atlassian teams. We live and breathe innovation every single day. It's something that's part of our rituals, part of our values. What I'm particularly excited about tonight is that you're going to see two people present that aren't from Atlassian. They're Atlassian customers or vendors or marketplace add-ons. They also do hackathons, and they're going to share their ideas with you. Now, given that we spent all the money on the robots and the lights and the lasers, we have lots of money left for this, so the prize is a T-shirt. A very prestigious T-shirt, because these are not readily available. You cannot get these from the swag store. You only get these by winning ShipIt, and that is what is offered tonight. So can you please give us a warm Barcelona round of applause and welcome to our first ShipIt Live entry, Mark Reeson.
Hello, welcome. So I'm not going to ask anybody to dance, but if you have a cell phone, can you pull it out real quick? So my name is Mark Reeson. We'll be using the cell phone later. And I'm here to share my ShipIt story that started in a Mountain View cafe over a couple coffees. This is Ona Cafe. It's a cafe in Barcelona. This is my third time in the city. I love being here. And every time I go, I try to discover something new. This time I actually got to meet the owner. Her name is R.E.P.L.A.Y, and she's from Costa Rica, and she comes from a family of growers, which is pretty incredible. So this is something I subscribe to. Great ideas come from good coffee. I don't think I read it on a billboard somewhere. I don't think there's a direct correlation to the amount of espressos that you have and the amount of great ideas that come out of it. I think it's something deeper. I think what it means is this. To me, this is what Atlassian ShipIt is all about. It's something imbued within our culture. It's getting groups of people together, building on ideas, and going from concept to reality in a very quick time. I'd like to share about how we did that for the Health Monitor app. So just in case you're unfamiliar, the Health Monitor is a play in the playbook, and it digs into a team's health. It's an hour-long exercise. You break into two groups, and what you're going over is about 8 attributes of healthy teams. These are things that we've done a lot of research on and explored, and found out that these are the things that a team should possess in order to be healthy. Now what you do is you vote on each of those 8 attributes: red, yellow, and green. So the process kind of looks something like this for us today. It's relatively manual, and it's important that you're not driving at a consensus. What you are is you're trying to get everyone to arrive on one issue, something that everybody can improve on. So today, we're using a lot of Post-it notes. You try to find a wall or a whiteboard, and each of these Post-it notes or stickies represent the votes from each of your team members. Most of the time, you're relying on a moderator for the discussion. Laptops are open, people are trying to sift through all the content that lives on Playbook Online, and everything's not necessarily readily accessible for you. So we thought we could improve on that. We thought we could put it on everybody's device. So, for starters, we wanted to make sure that we could educate you on what the Health Monitor was, and that we could also describe the 3 team types that exist. Once you select a team type, you're presented with 8 cards, and each of those cards sum up the attributes. You can tap into the card, and you can dig around more in the descriptions or get examples. And then, when it comes to voting, we knew that we were replacing a part of the process that was relatively conversational. A lot of people would do thumbs up or thumbs down or in the middle, and so we knew we wanted to have some fun. So for that, we decided to do a full screen overtake. We wanted to make sure that you could display your color, share it with your group, and start a conversation about it. So the summary of it is you get all these results and all your colors for each of the attributes summed up. You can share this with your moderator, you can share it with your group, or what you can do is you can pick up where you left off and say, hey, this is one thing we wanted to work on, and we really did well last time. So where do we go next? Well, it starts with you guys. We need your feedback. So if you go to hm.team, you can download it today in your browser, both on Android and both on iOS. I'm happy to help out if anybody needs any help. You can see us at the Playbook booth upstairs if anybody needs any assistance downloading. And once you get the device, you can send us feedback. You can either shake, and then it'll take a screenshot and it'll pen comments to the image, or you can go into settings and you can send us feedback directly. Now, I wouldn't be here without these team of people here today and all the coffees that were consumed, but thank you, and vote for the Health Monitor app.
what I particularly love about what the team did there was that was a ShipIt that they did about 2 ShipIts ago. What you have actually seen there is something they've progressed in their 20% time since they did the original ShipIt. The original ShipIt was just a concept. What that team decided to do about 3 weeks ago was to bring that beta to Euro Summit so that they could get feedback. Instead of keeping it internal and wondering about what if and what might be, we want to share it with you, our community, so that you can help refine it and you can help us finish it. Next up, we have Rich Manelang. So Rich is part of the Atlassian family, has been for years. If you can give a very warm, loud Barcelona welcome to Rich Manelang.
Hola! All right. Oh, we got a little echo. All right, so we have a new product in the family, Trello. And by the show of hands from yesterday's keynote, we know that most of you in this room already use it. And that's great. I'm a Trello superfan myself. I've been using Trello for years. And for the past few months, I've been building integrations with Jira, Bitbucket, and Confluence. But I'm not here to talk about that at all. Back in 2016, we launched HipChat Group Video. HipChat Group Video allows you to basically meet with your entire team directly from within HipChat. When we launched Group Video, we launched a bunch of images that were just really compelling. This is one of them. But one particular image I really liked was this. Because what it looks like is that we actually launch a video inside of Jira, which for me, as a remote worker, would be really awesome. I meet with my team daily, and we're usually sharing this particular screen. So for this recent ShipIt, I decided to marry 2 great products, Trello and our video platform. The same platform we use for HipChat Video. I call this Board Meeting. Here it is. My team uses Trello for retrospectives. We use it regularly to monitor how we're doing with our projects. So let's install the Board Meeting power-up. The first thing that happens is you're going to get prompted to enable desktop notifications. And this is important because most of the time, when you start a meeting, a video call, you usually have to send a URL over HipChat, Slack, email, whatever, right? Well, you don't have to do that anymore. Now you can simply just start a meeting, and everyone on your board gets notified. And once it starts up, you'll get a film strip directly below. You get audio, you get video, but it's unobtrusive. You could do everything that you normally do within Trello. You can create cards, move cards from one list to another, edit them, and because Trello is in real time, all of those updates that you make happen in real time, and everyone sees it. It's like screen sharing without actually screen sharing. So that's it. It removes the complexity of having video on top of your daily work. What do you guys think? Yeah? Awesome. So if you want to see this ship, vote for Board Meeting. All right? Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. So what I love about Rich's idea there is that is something that I can empathize with from working every single day in a distributed team. I think most of you can empathize with working across borders and across time zones. And the idea of bringing that rich conversation and a face-to-face virtual conversation into the action you're taking on the board is a really great idea. Next, we have the first of our external participants, so I need an extra special welcome. Can you please welcome to the stage Felix from Scania?
Hello, everybody. I am Felix. I'm a developer at Scandio in Munich. It's a great honor to stand here on this stage. It's really great. So I'm going to present you one idea from our ShipIt days. We've done it for a few years. It's really great. So you might ask, why is it called Where's Waldo? Weird name, right? So Waldo is this guy. He has a red and white hat And look at him now, because we're going to play a little game. So this is the beach in Barcelona, and WALDO is somewhere here on this beach. And I'm paying a free drink to anyone who can find him in 10 seconds from now. I'm not going to say anything for 10 seconds. Yeah. No one found him. He's here and it's impossible to find him, so I didn't bring any drinks in jail. So why all this? At Scandio, we've seen a big problem with people being out of office and we don't know where they are. So someone would say, I'm working from home today, another would say, on-site customer meeting, or I'm sick today. So we have this immense amount of daily messages in HipChat that are just about the location of somebody. And there's another guy asking, how is the new pizza guy downstairs? And then boom, it's all gone, never to be found again. So we're developers, and what do? We make a tool. So what we wanted is a few commands like HO home office, customer meeting, bio back in office, and it's going to be posted to our server in Node.js, and we're using the Connect API, and that would go to Confluence with a REST endpoint, and it would show up on our dashboard in a little widget, which looks really nice. So the whole thing looks like this in HipChat. So you can just type HO home office, bio back in office, and so forth. You can add a customized message for where you are, what you're doing, and it's all nicely shown in colors in our HipChat. And it's integrated on our dashboard with this little widget down there. Looks like this. And we're also displaying information about vacations. It's taken from our vacation calendar. And yeah, so this way we have it all in one place, and the world is a better place now. Yeah, thanks. Vote for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Felix. What I loved about that idea is, again, being in a distributed team, having that kind of information at your fingertips just means you have the mental capacity to get on with the really complex work every day and not be worrying about where people are. So great work from Felix. Next up, we have an Atlassian, a guy I'm deeply envious of. An Atlassian, we refer to John as the triple threat. He's a bit of Benjamin Button. He gets younger every day. He's got the moves of Justin Timberlake. And he's kind of technical as well. That never really happens. So can you please welcome on stage Atlassian's John Wennell.
Hi, everyone. I'm John Wettenhall, and I'm here to tell you a story of triumph against adversity. The adversity in this case is planning and organizing offsites, which are multi-day long meetings that we use at Atlassian to think about strategic questions, brainstorm, or otherwise get out of the office to do things we can't do in our normal day-to-day. But the problem with offsites is that not everyone really likes them. So what do Atlassians say about offsites?
It takes a lot of planning, a lot of organization, and a lot of thought.
No thanks.
I hate offsites.
Please don't make me go.
Please don't make me organize an offsite.
Is it well organized? I need to brush my hair.
So offsites don't just elicit these emotional reactions, they actually have costs associated with them. And it wouldn't be a ShipIt presentation without some fake stats. So here are a couple about offsites. Last year we spent over 12,000 hours planning and organizing offsites. Over 3,000 people attended, and we spent $1.2 billion on them, generated a whopping 3 cents of value, which is only 2 cents in euros. Our NPS score was negative 98.5. At the end of the day, planning and organizing offsites can feel a lot like this. Wait for it. Yep. I think we've all been there. So we boiled it down to 3 key problems. Number 1, planning is painful. Number 2, attendees are wondering why they're there. And number 3, and most importantly, we have lots of conversation, but little action or results. Now you're probably wondering why I'm the only one up here wearing a Confluence Hawaiian shirt, and that's because I believe in the old saying, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And I want the job that this kangaroo has, which is sitting on a beach. But I can't get there unless I fix offsites. But guess what? I'm here to tell you that there's good news on the way, and this next bit made a lot more sense when I originally presented this in December because it was right before Christmas, so bear with me. So that's right, the offsite savior is here, and it's not even Christmas yet. We analyzed the keys to offsites and came up with 10 commandments. But that's not all. Just like the 3 kings came with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, we have gifts for all of you, and they come in the form of the offsite toolkit. So the first gift, gold, is a checklist that walks you through all the steps to planning an offsite, from booking venues to getting your team on board with the topics and goals. The second gift, frankincense, is creating your agenda as easy as creating a page. That's right, we've got a Confluence page template for an offsite agenda. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Third and finally, myrrh, the dark horse of gifts. We created resources pages to help you sort out details like offsite venues and activities to get you to the outcomes you desire out of your offsite. So the offsite is great. The offsite savior is great for both those who plan offsites and those who attend them. It takes the pain out of planning. Everyone knows why they're there, and you're set up to achieve greatness. And guess what? We improved on all those metrics too. We saved 10,000 hours, $1.1 billion. We generated $1.06 of value, and NPS of plus 100. Thanks so much for your time. Vote for us, offsite savior.
Nailed it, dude. There's a large queue of people who want to adopt John after his talk. What I particularly loved about that, we do actually spend a lot of time in offsites and Atlassian, trying to build our strategy, our vision, our direction, and find ways of delighting our customers every day. And just making sure that time is well spent and that we have good systems, good procedures and practices for how we do that really makes a difference every day. Next, we have one of the guys from the Amsterdam office. So I'd like to give a large round of applause to Christopher.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now, a lot of great ideas are born out of frustration, and my ShipIt project was no different. So let me set the scene for you. So I'm at an external marketing event representing Atlassian, and there's lots of face-to-face communication with customers. Now, face-to-face communication is one of the most important means of getting information across in a one-on-one environment. But there often comes a point where you need to direct the customer to a website, for example, so they can get more information for themselves. And this is where the frustration begins. So imagine, if you will, I'm talking to a customer and they're asking me questions about a specific aspect of Atlassian. For example, the foundation, about all the great charity work that we do. So I direct them to the website as I've exhausted all the information I have in my own mind. And so they pull out their phone and I give them the URL. And so type www.atlassian.com/foundation, and they start typing it out, type. Oh, it's not working. So then I take a look, and Atlassian has 2 S's. Okay, so delete, and then they start typing. And you can see after the 20th iteration of this interaction, the frustration levels have begun to rise. And it hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure at some point that someone's going to pull out a smartwatch and start typing in a URL on that as well. And that's when I'll start crying. So the solution I came up with was to use a technology called NFC, or near-field communication. And NFC is becoming a ubiquitous technology in the sense that it's being used everywhere. Some real-world examples include transport systems when you're checking in and out of a tram, or paying for stuff contactlessly with cards or mobile phones. And now, because a lot of modern mobile phones have technology built into them, I thought I could leverage that technology to my advantage. So what I did was I took an NFC tag, programmed it to point directly to Atlassian's site, so then when a customer scanned it, they would go directly to the site. Now, this was great, but it took me a total of 2 minutes to do. And as we have 24 hours for ShipIt, I thought I could jazz it up a little bit. So I created a simple mobile landing page whereby they scan and they're taken to here, and there are lots of different links to different aspects of the site. We can see at the top there, or we could just a second ago, the foundation link. And this can be chopped and changed and added and to be bespoke for specific events. And the possibilities are endless for NFC. You can stick them anywhere. You can have them on posters. People can scan them and get the latest release notes for Jira versions, and so on. Now, there was a small problem I did encounter, and that was around non-NFC phones, like iPhones. I believe the latest versions do have them, but I think they're locked down for Apple-related functionality. So I went old school, and I created a QR code as well that you can stick onto anything, and it serves the same purpose. So thank you for listening, and vote NFC. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. What I love about that is, Scott mentioned in his keynote yesterday the importance and the impact of the Atlassian Foundation. We all get 5 days a year to go and invest back into the community and into charities. And anything we can do to make that effort and that exercise easier has a great positive impact on the world around us. So thank you to Christopher for that. Next up, our penultimate entry, another external entry. Can you please welcome on stage, introducing Bobble Heads, Tobias from K15T.
Hi, welcome. So I'm really proud to be here on the stage and present Bobble Heads to you, or how I call it, what Simon and Paul did last hackathon. Huh? Hackathon? We're talking about ShipIt here? Yes. In our company, ShipIt is called hackathon. So it's a get-together, having fun, drinking something, but of course a lot of coding, or how we call it, hacking. So here you can see our team on one of our last hackathon projects. And today I'm really happy to present one of those winner projects to you. As I said, it was originally developed by Simon and Paul, and I'm just presenting. I would have loved to, it's my idea, and I won the t-shirt, but I didn't. Okay, so Bobble Heads. Bobble Heads takes collaborative editing to the next level. What does it mean to the next level? So hopefully everybody has installed Confluence and already used this great feature. Because it's really great, but at certain times, sometimes there's really need for a face-to-face discussion. Let me give you an example. So a scenario I usually see in our office. So I want to edit a page and see, oh, there's somebody on this page already editing. What is he doing there? No, he shouldn't change this. So I really would like to shout out, stop, stop, what are you doing there? Well, he wouldn't hear me, so I start writing this one inside a content. Make it bold, make it red, stop! And hopefully he reacts on this. And yeah, well, we will have a discussion inside of Confluence, but it shouldn't be there. But Tom, in this case, he knows the new add-on, Bobble Heads. So he invites me to join a Bubble Chat call, and I just have to accept the invite.
Hey, how's it going? Now we can use Bobble Heads to discuss this face-to-face.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know about that feature yet. Okay, let's talk.
So Bobble Heads turns your cursor into a video chat. And, I mean, yeah. So I also really love it. So, and of course it works as more people join.
Hello.
Hi.
And not everybody is really productive, so somebody maybe has time to play around with the Easter eggs. And, well, we could discuss while writing. So we have face-to-face video chat inside of Confluence when there's need for it. So don't forget to vote for Bobble Heads. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a bit of a moment when we did the trial walkthrough before and he presented that. I was like, I need that yesterday. It's awesome to see people taking things that aren't necessarily broken. Like innovation sometimes focuses on what's broken and what problems do I need to fix. And that's clearly an example of where's there an opportunity to improve the way someone actually has an experience and uses our products. I personally get frustrated by context switching, so having that context come together, absolutely awesome, and great to see that being done by someone outside the Atlassian world, but in the Atlassian ecosystem. This is our last entry, a guy who literally could read a shopping list and I would smile. His voice, I could fall asleep to. The guy is an inspiration to me. He smiles constantly, even when delivering bad news. The king of Git from Atlassian, please welcome on stage, Tim Petson.
Thank you, Dom. And actually, I have a little bit of bad news for anyone who attended my presentation this morning. So I gave a talk about code reviews. How many of you are attached to a software team that does some sort of code review? Fantastic, that's what I like to see. Almost everyone in the audience. So I talked about my favorite type of code review, pull requests. But now I'm going to have to make you forget everything I gave in that presentation, because we're about to change the face of code review forever. So for those of you not practicing code review, there's two major reasons to do it. The first is it helps you find bugs, so you ship higher quality code to your customers. But the second is even more important. It lets your developers share their knowledge with the rest of your team. Now, the way that code review is typically done is by looking at a thing called a diff. Now, this is a 50-year-old piece of technology that was invented in the 1970s on the Unix operating system out of Bell Labs. It's changed a little bit since then. This is actually called a unified diff, where you can see the added and removed lines in one screen. This was built in the early 1990s and added to the GNU project by Richard Stallman. And basically every code review tool out there presents your diff something like this, a bunch of added and removed lines. But ShipIt is about innovation. And is using a 30-year-old mechanism for displaying the changes to a piece of code really innovative? Or is everyone just sort of going, yep, this is good enough, let's keep at it? But it turns out that there's actually another way that technologists are communicating how code is changing. And it's used across educational institutions around the world, over the internet, and also at conferences just like this. And this is a technique known as live coding. Live coding is when a developer gets up in front of an audience and starts writing some code. And I actually think this is a fundamentally better way to demonstrate how code has changed, because it's more visceral for the audience. They can actually see the changes happening to the code base before their very eyes. So now, and I've actually got some research that backs this up. There was a paper out of the University of Colorado called The Effectiveness of Live Coding to Teach Introductory Programming. And actually split the school year in half. And half of the students learned code by looking at static code examples on slides. And the other half actually learned by watching their professors do live coding in front of them during lectures. And the students who followed the live coding examples did far better on assessments and exams than those who looked at the static code examples. So I'd like to introduce Bitbucket Reviews enhanced by Pseudo-Live Automatic typing, or Bitbucket Replay for short. Bitbucket Replay is an Atlassian Connect add-on that you can install in Bitbucket. Now this is a boring old static pull request with the diff from 1990, but you'll see this little replay link. If you click this, Bitbucket will drop into replay mode. And what it's doing is interpreting the git diff output from the Bitbucket REST API and replaying the changes that developer made live in front of you, as if they were typing it on your screen. Now this has a couple of advantages. One, it's hands-free. You can review code while you're lying in bed or while you're eating lunch. It also has some cool controls, so you can pause and meditate on a particular change or skip ahead. It also comes in a range of attractive colors. Dark themes are very in IDEs this year, so I recommend the Darkula theme. And after I started playing around with this, I realized this has applications beyond just code review. You can actually use Bitbucket Replay to splunk through previous versions of your code. So here's an interesting example where beloved co-founder and co-CEO Scott Farquhar is adding support for Netscape to Jira 2. This is a commit that originated in a CVS repository and was migrated to a Subversion repository, briefly as a Mercurial repository, and then finally ended up in Git. So here you can see he's just created a class called requestUtils with a method called isGoodBrowser that I think returns true for IE and Firefox, because this is before the days of Chrome. So I think this is going to change the way that developers are doing code review for the better. So if you'd like to give this a try, please vote for Bitbucket Replay. And because this is ShipIt, this is actually already shipped and live on Bitbucket Cloud. So you can go to bitbucket-replay.aerobatic.io and install it for yourself on your own Bitbucket accounts. Thanks very much.
Wait here. When Tim does, if he ever does leave Atlassian, he'll be doing midnight radio, and I will listen to him every night. So now's the most important stage, the voting stage. If you could welcome back on stage our 7 participants from ShipIt Live, please. Mark, Rich, Felix, John, Chris, Tobias, and Tim. Now there is huge pressure on you. You get one vote. One isolated uno vote. You need to vote for the one that inspired and intrigued and the one that you loved the most. And then we will announce the winner for the t-shirt. So cast your vote. go.atlassian.com/vote. Closing voting in 5, 4, anyone still voting? 3, once I get to 2, I probably don't care. 2, 1, voting is closed. Otherwise, I was going to have to do a song. That is your voting done. Are you ready to hear your winners? They are your winners, the people you have selected. So we're going kind of Oscar style. In 3rd place, when my wonderful, glamorous assistant is ready, in 3rd place in ShipIt Live. Not that glamorous, really. 3rd place goes to, drum roll, please. Feet on the floor, bang your hands, make as much noise as possible. 3rd place goes to, where is Waldo? Congratulations, Felix. If I can get a slightly louder drum roll than 3rd place, but not as loud as you're going to say for 1st place. 2nd place in ShipIt Live Euro Summit goes to Bitbucket Replay. It took him 12 minutes, but it was entertaining. And in 1st place, Barcelona Euro Summit 2017 goes to La La Land. Yeah, I'm being a fool, right? It's not La La Land, it's an Oscars thing. Right? We're being funny. The winner of ShipIt Live Barcelona. I need the loudest drum roll you can humanely give. K15T Bobble Heads Tobias. A round of applause for Tobias. Thank you very much for everyone that participated, and massive congratulations, Tobias, K15T. So the reason we do that is a couple of things. One is we have thousands of entries every single ShipIt, and it's just great to kind of profile some of those ideas. It's also great to kind of spread the idea of innovation in the community. We also want you to join us next year. It's not too early to start planning for next Euro Summit. I've had a great time, and hopefully you've all had a great time the last 2 days, sharing ideas, collaborating, sparring, and having some great conversations with customers experts and partners. And we'd love for you all to join us next year, September 4th to 6th, back in Barcelona. And we'd love for you to bring friends, family, colleagues, anyone who inspires you in the world. It's a great event and a great chance for us all to connect. Enjoy Bash tonight. Have some fun, not too much fun, but have some fun. And just go and find someone who you've never met before and have a conversation with them. When you take cognitive diversity and you open your ears, you really can innovate. And as teams together, we can absolutely do anything the world puts in front of us. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great evening, and thanks for joining us.